Um, you actually get you know when you grow a plant and all the outside gets covered with roots, so no new root growth is coming. They call it root bound, huh? What they found is in hydroponics you can have root bound plants. That's because only the top four inches of the water have enough oxygen to give you root growth. Huh? So what they've done is this is to an extreme. The Japanese only have one layer, but what they've done though is so you have the water up to here to start off with, and you grow for about 2 months, and you fill this whole top here with roots, because that's where they grow, because there's oxygen up there. And then you lower it down to down here, and so then you get this is all root bound up here because it's all filled with roots. So there's no new root growth, so the growth of the tomato stops, and you don't get any new flowers. You get some vegetative growth, but not new flowers and fruits. So you lower it down here, and you get a whole new 4 inches of root growth, right? And this is designed by Alvin Iwashida. He wants to lower it one more time and get another whole nother layer, so you can you should see some. I'll bring some pictures in. It's just like pure white. This whole level is pure white because it's all filled up with roots. And once it gets all filled up with roots, you don't get any new root growth, and you don't get any new nutrients and water uptake, right? So the Japanese lower it one time, and they get 2 layers. So all this whole 8 inches here is all filled up with roots, just completely white with roots. So what Alvin wants to do is lower it one more time and get the whole bucket filled up with roots. But what we're having problem with right now is we get, we just have the open bucket, and you only get roots on the top part, okay? And so you get maybe 2 hands of tomatoes, and then they don't grow again. I mean, you don't get any more flowers or fruits. And it's because they're root bound. I never thought you could get root bound hydroponics, but that's what they've shown. Root bound hydroponics. So they do 2 layers, and they have this one tank it's about 16 by 16, and it has maybe a 4 inch by 4 inch net on top here, and the tomatoes, they have one tomato plant in the center, and it grows up to the top and then spreads out. So they had this huge tomato plant, must have a stem about 1 foot, growing on this, I think it's about a 16 or 20 by 20 foot tank. And they've lowered it once, so they only have maybe 8 inches of roots. But in that time, they had this huge tomato tree. And people walk around underneath, and they can reach up and pick the tomatoes off of it. Wow. So we want to build one over here.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but see, so we have this in the bucket there, and we have this on top. So you get 4 inches of roots up here, then you get another, you lower it down and get another 4 inches here. So he wants to lower it down and get another 4 inches here, maybe even another 4 inches down here. What he did is increase the concentration. It's sort of like if it's real humid out, right, the plants don't take up as much water. So you have to increase the concentration. Like with our lettuce, hydroponic lettuce, we put 1.5 to 2 times as much fertilizer as you would under regular weather. So Um, if it's real humid out, the plants don't lose that much water, right? So they take up less water. But that water, if you increase the concentration to, let's say, twice as much, if it takes up half as much water, it'll still take up 100% nutrients, right? Because you have a double strength fertilizer. So what he did is when it stopped growing, he increased the concentration to, actually he was up to 3 times the concentration. And so that caused more growth, but then it slowed down. I told him, oh, you probably put too much fertilizer in there. So he took the fertilizer out and all the plants died. Well, anyways, the leftover tomatoes that were on the dead plants, they were really sweet. And it's because what the Japanese did is they were trying to grow tomatoes in this, where you have brackish water. So what they did is they went in there and they grew the tomatoes, and the brackish water caused less water to come up, and so the tomatoes had more, they were more dense, and they had more sugar. So that's how they grow the tomatoes now in Japan, is they grow them with less water, more fertilizer, and they actually put salt in the water. And all their tomatoes are so sweet. They really are. They're really sweet. So those dying tomatoes that I ate they're even better than the Japan tomatoes because they were so, you had 3 times as much fertilizer in there. Those are really delicious. So I want to try to grow some tomatoes over here. So maybe this class can do it. So with hydroponics, when they come out of here, they go into those beds over there in the fork.